Hey guys, welcome to Bubba's Comedy. And today I'm sitting with a comedian friend that I just met here at the local show. His name is Chandler Watson. How are we doing today, Chandler?
Man, right now I'm doing good. If you'd asked me that this morning, you would got a completely different answer.
What are we painting?
Right now I'm just doing the background of something. It's like I don't know if you'd be able to see the colors, but it's like this iridescent purple. Nah, you can't see it because it just looks white. So when it dries, it's gonna be this iridescent purple shining through. And then I'm gonna go over it with black.
Okay.
But right now, that's just the bottom. But don't worry, I'm gonna go grab something else. I'm gonna be painting that as we go, as this one dries.
Shoot me a photo of that and I'll post it on when this is all done.
Okay, I got you.
How
Man.
long you been?
Go ahead. Painting seriously about 10 years, about the same amount of time I've been doing comedy. So I've been in both for about a decade. Same thing with photography.
Which one do you like? Which one do you prefer? Not like. Which one tickles your fancy?
That's a hard one because I do them all they're all interchangeable, if you will, but I can't go without comedy. It's like I'll go a little bit without comedy. Like I'll take like a 3-month break and then I'll just start getting a little irritated, a little agitated. But that's with all of them, so it's hard for me to pick. There's a season for each one, but comedy is something it's a constant, you know?
What's your favorite season out here in Oklahoma to shoot?
I like when storms start to come through, and like I'm always shooting them, but I like winter too. So if there's ever a winter storm or it's snowing, my ass is outside, bro. I'm outside with my fucking jumpsuit on, got my camera, my boots, and I'm chilling. I'm just fucking chill.
Like a winter bunny just out there waiting for the perfect shot.
Dude, essentially driving around just because it's like this whole landscape changes. Like you've been out here since 21, so you've witnessed some of it. It's hard to say because like I try to give myself different things to shoot during different times of the year. But I love street photography and I miss LA because man, I take so many fucking photos out there. So many. Even when I tore my Achilles, I fucking broke my boot because I was just walking around taking so many photos. So just to answer your question, the perfect day would be for me. I wake up in the morning, I roam the city and just take photos as much as possible. And then I find me a spot to go do some comedy, do like 2-3 spots, then go eat me something good, then I paint.
Yeah.
That's a solid ass day.
Yeah, you can't ask more out of life than that.
Yeah, man, it's a day of creation. And then one more time.
I can respect that.
So it's hard for me to say which one is which.
So tell me
But
how you got into comedy 10 years ago, and tell me how it's changed, how you've seen it change for better or good, for better or worse.
ooh, and like what I've seen nationally or in this city.
Any way you want to take that.
Okay, so what got me into comedy? It was a little bit longer than 10 years ago. I would always be at these house parties and I'd tell some fucking crazy stories and just say some wild shit because, got into some shit. But one time a boy, he's like, man, you always said you wanted to do stand-up. I'm like, you got a point. Because it's like, I was just we had this, the island of this kitchen. I was just like, people were like, word, just like eating it up. I like that. And then this dude, I know his name's Zane. He's the one who actually kind of got me on a stage. Like I saw him out in LA. What is it? The Nerdist shit? It was off Sunset. He had a show out there. This is like one of them things that tied it. I'll get into that in a second. But he's like, yo, come read your funniest tweet on sale. It was at the Board Club in the Paseo. Back when the Paseo here was kind of like dingy and shit. Now it's all uppity and whatnot. So I was, come read your funniest tweet. So I went on stage and read a tweet and everybody just fucking laughed. And like, okay, bet. And then from there, it was like, I think a year later, I finally got on the stage, but I was nervous, but I did fucking good. I did really good. And then the second time, ooh, not so good. But after that, it was just like, that's what got me into it. And then I would always go up a little bit fucked up. Like for the first 3 months, 3 to 6 months, I was always just fucked up on something. And then I was like, stop using this shit as a crutch. That was one thing. But there was you know, that what is that snow that snow? Yeah, man, I was wild. And yeah, I was wild. But I got sober. But I hate saying it like that. Like I was just, my environment wasn't stimulating enough, so I was looking for other shit to stimulate me. So once comedy, and I started asking myself deeper questions, like, is this really what I want my comedy to be? And it's like, fuck no. So I started changing shit. And then like back then the comedy scene was all right. There was no really sensitive people. It's like you just go up there and kind of say what you wanted to say, but if you cross the line, it's like people knew it. It's like, that ain't funny. But now it's just, there's like kind of a correction coming back to where it's like people ain't too sensitive, but I say that.
I take the Joan Rivers approach to it. I don't apologize for a joke, but I know
Nor do I.
there's consequences to the subject or the joke matter that I'm about to say. It's not. I've always found this kind of funny about the council culture. I've been arresting people since I was 18 years old. Isn't that part of counseling somebody's culture?
100%.
So what is that now where we can't just say, hey, that's not right? Where have we become so we don't want to
Self-righteous.
No, we don't have a problem nowadays without being self-right. We don't, when that isn't a fuck no, that's here and gonna stay.
Ugh.
That comes with your social media feed. That's not, you know what I mean? That
I get what you mean.
doesn't doesn't get turned off at some point. Just, I mean, it's like a new toy. You're gonna play, Lord. But if you get up and say something stupid, or you get up and drunk, and just not giving a show to people that pay good money for you to see you, where do you think that you're not gonna get a consequence for that? Where do you think
That part?
We're how we've come so far down the line that we're like, we went from Lenny Bruce locking him up to saying fuck on stage to now we can talk about pedophile. Where do we say, hey, no, you can't do that? Because it's not we're counseling your culture. It's a consequence of it. That's not funny.
Trust me, because I've heard other motherfuckers try to say some shit, and I was sitting in the crowd. I'm like, nah, bro. I verbally said, bro. As in, you should stop this bit right now because you can't recover if you go any further.
What's his name?
My goodness. I wasn't going to say no names, but go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, that's how it goes over. Like, if you know,
that wasn't good.
It's not. That's what I'm saying. Were you not? Okay, everybody. We were both at a comedy show the other day, and a comedian got up and just wasn't funny, and he tried pulling the N-word out of somewhere and just fitting it in and just tried shoving it down people's throats. It's just not funny.
It was uncomfortable.
It's poorly written. It's poorly delivered. It's not fucking funny. It didn't have a setup. Did I mention it wasn't fucking funny?
Yeah. I mean, it was like the third time or fourth time he said it, it became funny to me because it wasn't working. And that's when it became funny.
You're the only one like, hey, I like this tension. I like the way this moves.
Yeah. I was looking at the room and I was looking at him and he was just too into it. I'm like, read the room.
We are going down this rabbit hole. I mean, he still got paid for the night.
Yeah, that's true, but it's like, man, read the room. But the things about comedy and how I've seen the change.
Yeah.
I've seen people who are not funny think they're hilarious. I mean, prime example, what we just talked about. I've seen people who just started out thinking it's like, I can do an hour. I mean, I think almost every comedian has that starting out, almost. And then It's just I'm like, all right, then go prove it. One of those type things. It's like fucking
4 minutes.
show us you can do an hour because it's like you've had 2 good sets. How do you feel after that first bad set and then that second bad set? And then when bad sets just start rolling in, are you gonna stick around or are you gonna go fuck off? You know what I mean?
Even Martin said, hey, enough bad sets. I'm done. I just got done listening to his book again, Born Standing Up. And
I've never listened to it. I'm gonna have to.
He talks about like working at Disneyland, and that's where he got his props, like the arrow through the head and the bunny ears were all through the magic shop at Disneyland. And how he progressed from that and was basically a fixture at the ice house and the bird cage, I believe it was. And
I like the ice house a lot.
Oh, I love the ice house. It's where I popped my cherry.
Fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the audience, I love it because the audience, you're only 3 rows, and you could see that last person on the last row of it.
It's very intimate. Yeah.
And laugh.
I like rooms like that a lot. I like rooms like that a lot. It wasn't the Punchline. I think it was the Punchline in San Francisco. Whenever I was driving through and it was packed, I just happened to pop in on an open mic night. I'm like, man, it was fucking packed. I'm like, it's beautiful.
Yeah. I like that one. I love the Ontario Improv.
What improv did I do? I did the Irvine Improv. I opened up for Gene Pompa.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No. Okay.
Yeah, I opened up for him, and it's like, and this is where I was still like, I was viewing it as more of an artist, not a businessman, and like I shoot myself in the foot about it all the time because after I did my set, it's like people liked what I had to say, and there's like, good set, good set. Even the fucking booker is like, hey, yeah, we'll have you back. Right then and there, I'm like, here's my information. Here's my availabilities. I should have did that, but I didn't do that. That would have changed a lot of shit. Now I know better, but it's still fucking irritating because I mean, that was back in like 2018. I can't be like, hey man, you remember this? I got this picture. I mean, maybe I could, but it's just one of those things, man. It's like I've learned a lot via business because I always viewed everything as an artist. It's like, yeah, I'm here to get as good as I can and just be passionate about this shit. And the people who are business oriented, they will fuck over an artist real quick.
Yeah, because they think that's everybody will take advantage of you until you tell them what the cost is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, an artist is, yeah, I do it because I love it and it's free and I do it for the art of it. Well, that doesn't pay the water bill.
They sure the fuck don't, bro. And now it's just like, okay, here, and it's like, even just from a standpoint of other comedians who were business people, there's like, oh, he's an artist. He probably won't remember what he said. Let me take this. You know what I mean? I witnessed the dude at the Comedy Store do one of my jokes right in front of my face, and like I had the dilemma. I'm like, because back then I wasn't. The word is, I guess, refined, if you will. I didn't know how to control some of my shit, and like part of me is like, yeah, just go fuck him up. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, just take him outside and like beat the brakes off of him, and then it's like, you get blackballed, but he won't ever do that shit again.
We walked out. One of us came limping back.
Yeah, it's just like it's just one of those things. Even though like I know not to do that, and I knew not to do that, but part of me is like, no, go break his fucking hand at least. It's like nowadays, it's like I will offer the like nobody's done it to my face nowadays, but it would be, you want to step outside very quick, and it's like there will be a conversation had. That's another thing that's wrong with society. Like some of these repercussions, they've got pushed to the side so people think they can do whatever they want without getting checked. I remember growing up, you said something somebody didn't like, you were liable to get punched.
Imagine that. Consequences.
Yeah.
Isn't that a fucking funny thing in 2024?
What are the consequences for some shit?
You know, I didn't grow up on Adderall or Ritalin. I had a dad that beat the shit out of me. I'm not fat. I'm not fat. I'm just still swollen. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's funny.
I'm not.
Oh, I get what you mean.
tell me about being a military brat.
So growing up is like I was born on an Air Force base in Pensacola, so it was like Eglin Air Force Base, not technically in Pensacola, but right there. So I was always exposed to like diversity, you know what I mean? Because Air Force brings in a lot of people from different walks of life. So there was that. And then the first time we moved, that opened up my mind. 5 years old, went from Florida to Denver. And like, yeah, kind of, not really. It was cool. It was really fucking cool because it was like, we're always a sponge, but definitely at that age, you're really a sponge. So I was just taking in everything, just like looking at it all and seeing my dad drive through the mountains. We had this van, this Chrysler van, and my sister got the back seat so we wouldn't be fighting. She's older than me, and I had the middle seat, and I would like position myself, and I had like the little window shade to make it seem like I was driving along too, because I could see straight out the middle. And so as we was making this, I think it took us 2 days to get there, 2-3 days. And we drove through the mountains, and it was like, at the time, I could see now looking back, I'm like, oh yeah, I was stressed. I was like, don't, look at this over here. And like that, it's still with me, because I'm like, I will look out the fucking side of a cliff and like hang out the window looking straight down with the camera. But it got me used to moving after like a couple years, and it's like, it's not a good thing because it got me good at cutting people off too. That is a good and a bad thing, because I'm like, yeah, it's just like, I'm out in 2 years. I guess there's this.
So attachment to anything is not.
It's kind of changed as I gotten older. It's like I somehow developed an attachment to things, but then again, after so long, I get rid of them, so it's not there anymore. But yeah, it was strict, man. it was fucking strict. So it was like,
Did you have the hospital corners when you had to make the bed or anything like that? Did you?
No, not like that. It wasn't like that. It was just like, yo, fucking do your chores, or you know what I mean? It was like,
yeah, you get the shit beat out. You become a fat guy. I understand.
And then it was like, another thing is like, sports were mandatory. It was not an option. They were mandatory to be in some type of extracurricular, because it's like, we're about to sit around and be like some other little fucks, just like sitting there wasting away. It was like, so football was forced. So what is it? They tried tennis, didn't fuck with tennis. Well, first it was taekwondo. This was me and my sister. Taekwondo was football for me, track for both of us, soccer for both of us. Tennis, I didn't really like it. Basketball, loved it. Football, basketball, fucked with them. And then, so it was always something. And then band, was forced in band. Didn't get to play the instrument I wanted because my sister already was playing the trumpet. She was good. She was really fucking good. So therefore, I got her pass me down trumpet. And I'm like, I didn't want to play trumpet. Now it's like, oh, you should have put a piano in front of me. And then that would have been it. That would have been end all be all. But
I don't really see a lot of marching bands though taking down a mini grand down Main Avenue.
No, that's true. I mean, like, no, it would have like put me like orchestra, so like it would have just changed my music trajectory. You know what I mean? But you got a point. Or like percussion. No, I really didn't like drums all that much, but
why we gotta drive around with this float for the piano?
Yeah, but have you heard him play? He's real nice. But the great thing about it is like, what is it? They call them latchkey kids. It's like I had a key, so I could always like, when I got off school, it was like, yo, go take your ass home and get dinner ready for the family if my sister was having basketball practice or something. So I learned how to cook young. Fucking had to learn how to iron my clothes, do laundry. So it's like, whenever I see some shit, I'm like, wait, you don't know how to use an iron or something? It's like, nigga, you can't cook. It's like, the shit blows my mind. Because I was like, yo, when I was like 7 years old, I had to cook for the family sometimes. Yeah, I'd be eating it while I was cooking. But we were like, what happened to all the food?
I sampling, sample tasting. I had to make sure it was quality control.
Yeah, that part. But man, it was cool, and then there's times it wasn't cool.
Emptiness,
yeah.
The loneliness, or the time to try to.
I don't think loneliness ever kicked in until I like.
Let me rephrase that. the not loneliness, but the familiarity. Is that the part that was missing? Like you can slip into an old pair of shoes, but you could never do that. You were always
and I never really have a home.
Okay.
And it's like, because people ask me what my hometown, even though I spent most of my life here, I'll still say like Florida or some shit. But because I don't have the mentality of an Oklahoman, unless I say, oh yeah, we go out here to shoot some guns or something. And then it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, if it was like, yeah, I have to Oklahoma, or I'll talk about moving out to the country or something. I'm like, nah, I think that just sounds like a sound mind. It's like, you want some space. You want to be away from the city. That sounds like a sound mind, not necessarily Oklahoman. Although I do like storms. I will chase the fuck out of a storm,
No, I can't say I do. No, I
can't. You ain't been here long enough.
Look, I know. No, I don't chase shit unless it's the ice cream man just flew on by.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't chase. I'm not even a chubby chaser.
Bro, you didn't even seem that big when I met you.
Dude, I used to weigh 400 pounds. I'm down to 20. I'm on my second week of, what is it? Hold on, let me show you the miracle drug.
You on that South Park episode. All right.
South Park.
How's it? So it's working pretty good?
I'm going to find that skinny guy that's trying to get out. I'm telling you right now.
What are the side effects of that shit?
I got a bouncing headache right now.
Is that from dehydration or something else?
Oh, no. No, that's, I don't know. I don't think it's dehydrated because I've been drinking. They've told me for your kidneys and stuff to keep drinking. And my numbers were close enough where they were about to put me on it anyways. So.
Okay, word. Well, fuck, man. Lose that weight.
Let me ask you, we were talking, speaking of being burnt out of our mind, Burning Man, mushrooms.
Yeah.
So, you were talking the other day about the concert that you performed at Burning Man last year, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was that the year that, like, Chris Rock and all them were trying to get the fuck out of?
Okay, so I heard about Chris Rock, but yeah, that was that year on Rain.
I take that back. Not Will Smith, but it was Chris Rock and a bunch of other celebrities were like, fucking get me out of here.
Yeah, and I was like, so here's the thing about Burning Man. It was dope. Even when it rained, I was grateful because I needed to sleep.
I love your logic. I love your logic away from civilization for 3 weeks. Fuck, I need to take a nap.
Man, I really did. It's like, so I got there. I'm gonna explain it like this. When I got there, it looked like just a refugee camp in the desert. That's what it looked like because it was still being built up. And I'm like, this is what motherfuckers get hyped about. You know what I mean? Because I watched videos. I'm like, this don't look nothing like what I seen. Not a single fucking thing. And then, so that whole day we spent building up our camp, and then like the next day, so we got there like, oh yeah, no. So later that night, after everybody been working like the whole day, and then we take a bike ride out. I'm like, okay, this looks like somewhat, but still like a refugee camp. And then the next night, whenever they let in general population, it's like, then you really see what it's like. I'm like, this is dope. This is cool. So like the first few days, just the people building it up. And then like the first like 4 days it's open, it's just like the people who really love Burning Man and what it's all about. And then once that Friday hits, that's when all those LA people and quote unquote celebrities come in and just like here to party. And like you could feel an energy shift out there. And it's like, I even went to like one of the mini clubs out there. I'm like, yeah, this shit ain't for me. Because it was like, it wasn't people trying to be like, yeah, how you doing? Where you from? Blah, blah, blah. Let's go get a drink together. Shit like this and just really share something. It became people like in some fucking attire with some big ass glasses and like people with their cameras. Just like, I'm like, nah. You know what I mean? It's just like they were there to be seen.
Okay, I might sound ignorant, but
you don't know. So ask the question.
Burning Man is for artists, right? Or for people the creative thinkers of us, that the artist of us. Let me just put it that way. Is that? Tell me what Burning Man is.
Okay, so the way I can go grab this little pamphlet over here, but one way to describe it is It's the like total self-reliance in a sense. Like you supposed if you go out there, you need to have everything you're supposed to have to rely on yourself, and then everything else is like a barter type system. You know what I mean? Or you go out there with a camp. And I know you got something to say. Go ahead, say it.
Yeah,
Say it.
a weekend at the lake, you know.
Yeah, camping. Yeah, essentially. But it's in the middle of the desert, so they build this community. And what do I see? I say it's for like it's for everybody. It's a good way to network too. It's like if people there are people out there doing business deals and shit. Because it's like you go party with someone, it's like, yo, hit me up when we're in the back in the normal world. But I was just out there just trying to see what it was really about for me. Because you know you got your fake spiritual people. You got people just out there wanting to get fucked up. People just wanting to experience it. I was just trying to taking as much as possible. I'm like, what is this whole event? And overall, it's a cool event. It's a cool experience. It's really cool, and I recommend if you get a chance to go, check it out. Even if you're not there for the whole time, it's worth experiencing and just seeing for yourself that wow, people built a whole ass city in the middle of a desert and like this little bit of time, and then when it's over they clean it all up and they leave no trace. That shit is cool. And like if people are able to do that, why, and I just figure, why can't the world look different? You know what I mean? It's like because people really build some cool shit, and like they offer stuff to the community. So there's this one tent, I can't remember where they were from, but they had this delicious ass tea. So I would go there like every day when I woke up. I'm like, yeah, I know where I'm going now. I want to say they're Iranian, but and they had this. It was just a place to go to like replenish your shit because you're sweating your ass off in the desert. And they just offered like a little sanctuary from all the fuck shit. They had massages going on. They also had a couple orgy domes, but I stayed away from those because I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to smell nothing like that out here. You know what I mean? You got people who ain't showering in there. I get it. I understand it. But it's like, and then there's some people they're out there to experience shit they never even considered doing in the real world. And like, mostly everything I've wanted to do, I've done. You know what I mean? Except for I have not gone skydiving yet. I'm gonna do that shit. If I get to do that this year out there, fuck yeah, I'm doing it. I'm hopping on that chance. You heard it first. But yeah, it's just some people are trying to find themselves. Some people may be trying to like, just like, oh yeah, I already know who I am. I'm just out here chilling.
Is that what it originally started? It was people just trying to find themselves.
What it originally started out, I could send you a video it's called. I couldn't tell you what it originally started as, but it was like something that'd be subversive counterculture. That's what it was supposed to be, very counterculture.
Okay, I understand that. I got it. I don't need pamphlet or a timeshare video on it.
You don't want to buy a timeshare out there in the middle of the desert?
Oh.
Come on through.
I got to work the Coachella Music Festival.
What was that like?
Fucking hot. Not for fat folks.
What year did you do it? How many years did you do it?
Uno months. Just
okay.
Time. Just so I did that one and Stagecoach. But
what Stagecoach?
The same redneck version of Coachella. Man, at that time that's been a minute. I mean, that was back when Zach Brown Band.
Okay.
Playing at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon to like 4 people.
What? Damn.
I saw Zach Brown Band play for 4 people. I'm not fucking kidding you. Yeah.
Yo, there's no way that would happen now.
Fuck no. They'd be closer. Yeah. No. Mm-hmm. I got to meet Paul McCartney.
That's dope.
He was the headliner at it's a weekend thing.
But he was knighted. You met Sir Paul McCartney?
Yeah, and I walked up to him and said, I believe you're a Beatle? I've heard that before. Down to earth type guy. I don't know. I've led a life that a lot of people should read about in books, but I can't write, so we're good. Like I don't.
But you write jokes
all the time. But that
then you can write a book.
That stuff comes to me like you're painting. You know what I mean? Like it's enough.
Okay.
It's just I don't have to write jokes to be funny. I was doing crowd work 10 years ago, back when they were saying, "Hey, That's not kosher. That's not, you really shouldn't be picking on the crowd because that's who's coming to see you. Now it's like, hey, my name's Stephen James, and what do you do? Like, you know what I mean?
Really fuck with people.
It is. I did mine a lot differently. I told my jokes, but I also brought them in. I wanted them to make them feel like they were part of the show. I broke down that fourth wall, but I
get that.
I didn't make them the show.
Okay. That.
There's just two different ways of handling that. There's just,
yeah, that's well said. Well fucking said.
I didn't think of it as, let me get this 30-second clip so I can put it on Instagram. It was like, hey, you were really funny. That's what I was going for at the end of the night when I had to shake their hands at the comedy club. They wanted that, hey, thank you. You're fucking funny. You know, that was more to me than a fucking, oh, look, I got 1,000 views on Instagram. Like, that's not...
Right? Because it's real. It's real.
It's authentic. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your...
Man.
That's why I do it.
That's what the world is lacking.
They're lacking this right here. Conversations.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Nah, where you about to into it?
Back to Burning Man, about you performed on mushrooms. Did I hear that right the other day? Oh, sorry.
Nah, you're good. No, but I ate the mushrooms after. Because it's like, so you perform it every night. So it was like I was switching on my sets. I wasn't doing the same sets. Some people were doing the same sets. Because it's like, oh, it don't make sense for me to do the same shit. It was like, why would I? And I was just saying, okay, I know I'm funny. I got a decent amount of material. Let's rotate this shit, bro. And like one night, it was jokes that would have worked more so around a red state crowd, if you mean, or people who just like guns. And I was like, yeah, y'all don't seem like a gun type crowd. And it wasn't the worst show. But it was like that night I would say was a bomb for me out there. And then I waited and I went back up an hour later and I did like 30 minutes and it was like I redeemed myself. And so the next night I was pissed off because I still did not do good for that 15-minute slot. I did not do good. So I was on my shit that whole day. I didn't have not one drink. I just drank some tea, water, ate pretty good. And then when it was showtime, I had my game face on and this dude named Steve, who was in the camp across the way, he's like, hey man, you want some mushrooms? I'm like, I'll take them from you, but I'm not gonna eat them till after my show. And he's like, I like that. And I'm like, he's like, you're serious about this? I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I am. Although I'm in Burning Man and this is a fucking experience, I am here for this. Comedy brought me here. I am going to do this to the top of my capability at this moment and be as pure as fuck. And I went up there and I did my fucking thing. It was the best set I had out there. Yeah, these people were driving by and they looked like on their they had these little art cars and they drove by. And I was just in there chilling. I just trying to do this and they're like, we're gonna stop. And so they stopped their car and they came out and they watched. And then there was another, his name is Moshe Kasher or some shit. He went up after me. He wasn't funny.
That doesn't... Now, I have to put a fucking caution label here across here. That when a comedian says that about another comedian, I want you to notice the pause he's had before he goes, he wasn't funny. Because that kills us. Because we root for a lot of people like, oh, I hope he's funny. I hope, because we know how it is to die a lonely death on stage. And we don't wish that upon anybody. So, but he died, huh?
To some of the people he did, to a few people he did not. But he just wasn't my type of funny. And then he walked part of the people. He walked some of them. And I'm like, damn, dude. And kind of like what you were saying, whenever you bring somebody in to break down that fourth wall, you make them a part of the show. He made them the show. And I'm like, nah.
It doesn't work.
Nah, but I mean that's my opinion because I was just like I was standing in the back kind of like whenever Trash was on stage, and I was looking at Nick like, yo, get this nigga the light. That's how I was looking at the dude, and I was like, yo, get this man the light. I was like, get him off. That's honestly how I felt, and I will not ever take that back. But after that, that's when I ate those mushrooms. And
Explain to me about mushrooms because now I am anybody who knows me, any time of the day, I will either be high, getting high, stoned, whatever, because I am allergic to all painkillers.
okay, that's a good thing.
No, I really, and I love it, but I'm allergic to Vicodin and Norco and all that stuff. I just break out and I can't do it. It makes me swell up. Well, how do you know? F you. I'm just saying. I just can't take it. So I love marijuana. The effects for me. I'm high now and I can talk, but if you watch my face, it's kind of this side is kind of giving way, and I can notice it, and I'm like, hang in there, like. So that's why I do it. So it's numb. My face is numb 24/7.
What happened?
Oh, that's where I got shot. That's where I was.
Okay, yeah. Feel my foot. This nigga said, "Feel my bullet." I almost forgot about that. Dude, that is wild.
Dude, I told you I want to make shirts that say, I touched this bullet, and all I got was this T-shirt.
Make those shirts.
I do, and I want to donate the proceeds to like a women's women and children abuse.
You're in Oklahoma. You're in Oklahoma. There's a lot of those here, which is sad to say.
Oklahoma rates is like #1 for domestic violence.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But that's off topic. I apologize. Becky.
But it's still a conversation, bro.
No, I know, but it's like I don't want to take the listeners too far down this rabbit hole, but that's what I would like to do because I was put in that situation. That's how I got the bullet, was domestic violence. So if I don't use it for good, what the hell was I put in the situation for? Damn you. Tell me the mushrooms, because people have told me, Steve, you should try a mushroom. But I don't want to be like, I think I'm in an episode of Beavis and Butthead.
Okay, so it might not be like that for you. Many ways you could use it is like some people use it as medicine, and some people use it to trip. How do I explain mushrooms? One thing about them, they help. Psilocybin, it says. It creates a new neural pathway in your brain. Kind of like the easiest way is like it's squeegeeing some shit out. You're going to deal with some shit that you haven't dealt with, in a sense. And if you keep trying to hold it down, it's going to just make it worse. So it's better if you deal with your fucking shit. Yeah, you shaking your head. Yeah, deal with your shit, bro. It helps you, but it's like, it helps you if you help yourself. I know that sounds wild. It's kind of like with cannabis. It's like the more you do on it, the more you get out of it. So it's just one of those things. It's, how do I explain this? There's maps. It's like, I'm gonna read out the name to you because it's like I can never say it properly. So it's Multiple Disciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies. They do all these scientific studies on like how different substances could affect the brain and how help with PTSD, shit of that, help with trauma. Just, they're on the up and up. I want to actually do comedy for them, and I just need to get in touch with the right people. But each substance, back to the mushrooms, it gives you a nice body feeling. It's a great body feeling. I like to work out on it. Like, fuck, I'll bike fucking miles on this shit. Miles upon miles, I'll work out on it. And if you pair it with lion's mane, lion's mane is a mushroom that is built on focus. You can just take it. You can go to the store, guilt it. You gotta take it, and it will help you focus. And I pair that shit with psilocybin, and I just go work out, and then I just get shit done. You know what I mean? It's like a cup of coffee, but times and shit.
Right, I get it. Everybody, I'm not knocking it. It sounds, and I appreciate it, and I thank you. Like, because I don't know a lot of people and be like, hey, tell me about mushrooms. So you know what I mean? I don't.
And then it's good to, as I mean, I don't necessarily do LSD anymore, but whenever I did, I would always try to have a question to ask myself. You know what I mean? Just because it's like it's supposedly opening up your deeper consciousness and whatever, and like bringing everything to the forefront. So even as like I always ask myself questions whenever I'm not on anything, even if I'm sipping a cup of coffee. I'm like, now what the fuck are you trying to accomplish, bro? What is it you're not doing? What's in your way? It's usually me in my own fucking way.
What is it out of comedy, painting, or photography do you feel like, yeah, that's it? That's like we've said about comedy that, hey, good job. What is it? Because photography, there'll always be the next shot.
I would say love,
Yeah.
but it's not just the chase. There is a bit of that. But sometimes you just like, I'm compelled to capture certain things. Like, I will see something and I will see it 1,000 times. Like, I'm looking out my window right now and I will see it 1,000 times, but one day it just looks unique. And I'm like, this is the day you take a photo of that. It's like the other day when I was going down these stairs over here. I've gone down them so many times, but the way the light was hitting it in the morning, I'm like, this is a fucking photo. Any other time, I'm like, fuck these stairs. But the way the light just hit it, it's like any moment something can go from mundane to just for that moment, just for that one moment. And I was there to witness it. Even if I don't take the photo, I remember it. I'm like, oh yeah, that was beautiful. It's helped slow me down so I can appreciate life more. So that's one thing about it, because it's like we go fast, even in slow moving towns, because this is a slower paced city than LA, than a lot of places.
A lot. God, yeah, you'd get run over if you moved this slow in LA. You'd fucking
Yeah, but I did at times, but I adapted real quick. But when I wanted to slow down, I fucking slowed down. I went to the beach because I was living in my car for like the first 8 months. So I knew how to slow down because I needed it. And when I was going slower, I was going faster because I wasn't rushing around on those stupid shit. It's like, I gotta hit the next one. I gotta hit the next one. I was like, oh, I'll hit this one. I'll mosey on down over here. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that just, whenever I see something, I'm like, man, that's beautiful. Sometimes I share it with people, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this is going to be in a show. Maybe it won't be. But that's not what I think about as I'm shooting. I remember whenever I did get in that stupid mindset of like, oh, this is going to look good on Instagram, all my photos came out like shit. And whenever I started to think like that, I would pick up my film camera, knowing good damn well I didn't have money to get the film developed. So I would just shoot. And then like maybe a week or two later, I get it developed. I'm like, fuck yeah, look at these shots. And it was for me, purely for me. Wasn't sharing it with nobody because I was sitting there just looking at the shots because it's 35 millimeter.
Now, if only people could take that into their love life, because that's perfect. That's exactly how you should decide on your love of anybody.
100%. Don't put that shit online.
Keep it like once you have it, you adore it, you see it, you worship it for yourself. Like that's, if you ever want to know the definition of love, that's it. But that's
fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, man.
You're not sharing that. It's not an Instagram post. It's not everything needs to be a social experiment.
Everything's not for everybody.
That's what I love the most about being in a comedy club is being in the green room with other like-minded people, comedians. That's what charges my batteries. That's what I look forward to. That's what I enjoy out of all of it. All of it. The stage, the lights, the microphone. I love being in the green rooms with other comedians.
I love that first laugh, but the green room, whenever it's an actual, I do enjoy that. The most enjoyable one I had was back in Hyenas Comedy Club down in Dallas. It was like I was just sitting in there just chilling by myself for the longest.
And let me bring it back. That's what I mean. Where we're in just sitting in our own. We're not sharing it with anybody. We're not putting on Instagram. That's just where we're real.
Yeah.
Nobody else gets to see that shit. And I thought, That's it. That's what I love about this.
Because it's people who are going to tell you how they feel about a certain situation or tell you their opinion or their point of view without holding back, and they have the capability of say it without coming off like any type of way.
That's what, just being real with someone, just be like, yeah, he'll understand this. Like, yeah.
And then it's like, especially for the comedians who don't have egos. Because I remember saying, well, what is it? There's been a few who, like, their names are well known. I'm like, man, if you did this right here, it would just. And I can't remember what I told him, but one of them was Kirk Fox. And like he was at the Comedy Store. I'm like, his set was funny, but if he would have just brought this call back and placed it right there, the room would have blew up. He had a good set, but the room would have blew up. And I'm like, it's just. And then I tried doing it with younger comics, and I remember somebody saying, yeah, you try to tell younger comics something, their ego gets annoying, they're like, they don't want to hear shit. And like, fair enough. Because I remember once I was bullheaded like that. And I remember this one comedian, he told me after a set, and I had a good set, and he came off the stage and he's like, don't think with your dick. And at the time, I was just like, did you not hear my jokes? I was political. I was telling stories, not one dick joke. What are you talking about? And then he was just giving me information on life outside of everything. He's like, don't think with your dick. Stay focused. And I just, because I fell around and said, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? But that was the young of me, like,
You can't tell me.
No.
You can't teach this.
You can't tell me shit, nigga. Yeah, that's how I felt.
I remember getting
That's like,
go ahead. I remember getting a piece of advice from first time doing Pachanga. Gabe Lopez. Dude, I ran through my set. I wanted to get off that fucking stage so fast. I didn't care if they laughed. That's because I had a job to do. I had a job to do. Deliver these jokes. If they worked, they worked. If they didn't, get off the stage and be done. Because I was just a guest spot. This is like the first or third time I was on stage in a real comedy club setting. And Gabe walked up to me and goes, hey, that's your time. That's your time. Don't let anybody run you off that bitch. Take your time and enjoy it. So from then on, it was like, yeah, I worked my ass to get here. This is my time. I felt like fucking Goonies. This is our time.
I will not ever forget the 2 times I did shows in Long Beach. Northside Long Beach was the first one. And that's Crip territory. Didn't know that. Even though I would listen to Vince Staples all the time, he's like, Northside Long Beach, Northside Long Beach. And I would listen to it and I would do the dance and everything, but I was like, gang shit just didn't correlate to me because it's like, that's not my life. I'm not affiliated. I just be chilling.
Long Beach?
But
Long Beach is Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, Snoop too. But I really didn't listen to Snoop, which is wild. I never really listened to Snoop. And I love West Coast rap.
I was smoking his shit. I was going down to Long Beach and picking up Snoop Dogg's OG.
And so how was it? How is it? Good strain? Fantastic?
The stickiest shit I've ever touched. Hands down, one of the best smokes I've ever had.
Okay.
It hits your lungs and it just says, we're here. Oh, and then I'm thinking to myself, how does even Snoop walk it? Like, I can't, like...
Stays high. Stays high. The best shit, he has no type of joint pain. None at all. Okay, so what is it?
Where did you get that name from, is what I'm trying to say without saying it.
My mom gave it to me. Chandler Watson?
Where'd it come from? Where did it originate? Did it, like, your grandparents have it? Did it come from something?
No. My mom said she heard it and she liked it. And that's how I got my name.
Respect.
Yeah, and then, like, I looked up what it meant, and it means light. Well, essentially, it's candle maker, meaning light bringer.
Okay.
And that's what I try to do, man. I try to bring light to almost every situation until it calls for something else, and then I'll use that light to burn down the motherfucker. But
well, you have no middle. You either have taken food over to grandma's house because she's sick, or if she don't like the soup, we're fucking torching the house. I'll
just throw the soup outside. You know, that's
with grandma attached to it.
I'm working on the middle. But seriously, it's like it's either all in or I'm like, fuck it.
is that like like in serious question, like trying to get serious, is that aggression or is that misplaced or where does that come from? Where does that just
Don't know. That's a good question. I need to figure that out. It's been like that for a while. Either I'm all in, I'm getting better at just kind of being like, yeah, I'm okay. You know what I mean? But sometimes it just comes out like, nah, fuck no, I'm not doing it. It's just whenever I feel strongly about something, I feel strongly about it. Some things is like if I don't care about it, then I'm kind of in the middle. But if it's hard for me to be middle of the road about some shit. Some shit I am, but it's like it's hard. I'm getting better.
okay, you say you're getting better. Like I deal with aggression, depression, anxiety, all that. Like if I get into a store and I just feel there's too many people, I hear everything now though.
I can understand the hearing of everything.
I hear, because 13 years of my life, I had to observe and report. I had to watch out for everything. I had to be the eyes and ears. So now that's even heightened. Sometimes
you built up that.
I just look at my wife and I'm like, yellow, because that's our secret word. Like, get me the fuck out of here. I can't process it. There's too much going on.
Okay.
So that's why I'm asking, because that was my middle. Like it was bad when I wanted to take the landlord dude that wanted to come out and fix our house, that whatever. He wasn't the landlord. He was the landlord's fix-it guy. And the fix-it guy didn't have the right information that I wanted to hear.
Mm-hmm.
He was about to be put 6 feet under, and that's when I had a problem. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just...
See, at times I don't... My aggression, I've learned how to direct it very well. It's like, because I've held it in for so long. And then, like, whenever I started blowing up at people who didn't deserve it, I'm like, shit, I should do something about this. Whenever there's a chance for me to direct it, it might not be pretty, but they're getting a lot of it, even what they don't deserve. But I see what you're saying, and then about the hearing all that, I don't too much get anxiety. I don't know what to contribute to that, but I don't know. I guess I'm lucky in that aspect. And then you saw aggression and depression this morning. It was like a form of depression, because like I was asking myself, like kind of like the question you asked me it before I even got on, before we started recording or something like that. But I was asking myself, man, what the fuck am I doing all this shit for? In a sense, it was just like I was at a low, because it's like, it's something that not everybody experiences it, but every artist definitely experiences it. It's like, man, they say just keep going, man, your time's gonna come, just keep going. And it's like, man, what the fuck? it was that. And I had that this morning, but it wasn't like I didn't actually yell. If I would have just yelled at the top of my lungs, I probably would have felt better, but I just kept it inside. So I was like, I was in a shitty mood most of the day. And then it's just one of just thinking about this shit. It was like, am I going anywhere with this? And I'm like, yeah, I am going somewhere, because like after the show, it's like I was kind of like on a little bit of I was on a high, because like I feel I did well. I talked about what I wanted to talk about. There were some things that could have been tightened up, in my opinion, for myself. And like I got the actual, like, people say, hey, that was good, thank you for that. I'm like, fuck yeah. And then the next day I'm sweeping outside the movie theater, like, man, what the fuck? I get it. It's part of the journey. I'm like, man, what the fuck? And it's just one of those things. It's like, it is what it is. I'm gonna do what I have to do until I can build everything up to where I don't have to do it. And I'm grateful that it's like, at least I'm grateful enough to where I'm like, oh, I'm willing to go get a second job versus like, I'm not eating tonight. You know what I mean? It's like, no, fuck that. I like food, so I'm gonna go get another job.
What does success look like to you? What does it look like? What shape does it take for you?
Okay, so the way I will say how it looks to me is like
how does it feel to you?
Well, in the one aspect, it would be like success in comedy could be like, okay, so I'm going to be in this city, and I could reach out, just put a feeler out, and then I'll just say, hey, I'm going to be in this city, and then there's going to be people say, hey, you can come perform here, and you can come perform here. You know what I mean? It's like, or it's like a comedy club, just be like, oh yeah, you're going to be here, we'll clear out a spot for you. That's what comedy success looks like for me. And then at the moment, like, and then from there, just be like, anywhere I go, I can get up. That's what it looks like. And at one point, I was working on it. My goodness, that was nice. But and then I don't know why I slowed down. That's what's irritating to me, and I think that's the biggest. Like, why the fuck did I slow down? Because I was going from city to city, and people were like, "Oh yeah, we heard of you. We'll put you up." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, this is what I want." And then like that's with comedy. Now with art, that's a different thing. I don't know if I can give you a definite answer on that. One would be just building up this gallery that I'm and having all my bills just kind of taken care of, so I don't have to stress too much about it. And being able to create and give myself and other artists a space to show their shit. That's what that looks like in the visual aspect. Photography kind of takes care of itself. But being syndicated in like something would be dope. Like having one of these photos I took, that'd be cool. Like just like on something. But as long as I can like continuously get photo work, it's like somebody's like, hey, we're doing this book over here. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll come do that. I've done that before. I've been a lead photographer for a book. I could do that again. And it was really cool. But how does success look all together? I would like for everything to just handle my bills, right?
That seems like that's a lot of people's success is I just don't have to pay the light bill anymore, where it just gets automatically taken out of my account and I don't have to 48-hour notice.
And then I was like, I would like for that, and then I would like to be able to travel as I want. So it's like, fuck, I want to go to Japan. And it's like, okay, I can do that next week versus, oh, I got to save up for a year. It's like, I want to be free. That's what success looks like to me, is being free. And by being free, yeah, I know I have to have discipline to like get the shit done, but I want to be free. I mean, I even you haven't seen a lot of my art, but I'll have to show you some. But there's a continuous message in it saying, are you free? And I ask myself that, I ask other people that, and people answer how they want to answer. Yeah, man, success in comedy is just me, like, being able to drive somewhere and get up. And get paid to get up, too. But even if I'm already financially well, I was like, oh, I'll go here for free. I don't give a fuck, because I love this. And it's like, I love making people laugh, making people think, man. It truly is such a gift, but it ain't easy.
No, and that's why a lot of these people behind me here have had substance abuse problems, because they've needed to feel that loneliness. They needed not to feel like they weren't worthy. You know what I'm saying? Like they need to feel like they're on all the time. Belushi needed to be on all the time.
That sounds awful. But yeah,
that's
Robin Williams was on all the time. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen Richard Pryor in an interview where he wasn't on. Maybe one or two where he was just kind of like just chill talking. Nah, that's not me.
The night he came back to Johnny Carson after he set himself on fire.
He was chill.
The most mute I've ever, not mute, but just humble. Of like, and not like grateful to be alive. I mean, the fucker set himself on fire. So when you say that you were like, what's it worth? What's it for? I totally understand you. Because for me, this podcast might be on the micro lens of it all, but that's my one step of trying. I'm just trying to be better than I was yesterday.
And that's it.
I'm not out to set world Olympic goals. I'm not out to set I can't even say a marathon record or anything else. I'm just trying to be a decent human being.
I hear that.
The other shit is so minute. Is it gonna matter in 5 years? Is it gonna, that's what I base a lot of things on. Like the way sometimes, cause I do get depressed. I ain't gonna lie. I get depressed a lot, but then I have to be like, hey, are you gonna feel like this in 10 minutes? Are you gonna feel like this in 5 years? Because you have to move. It's just,
you gotta keep moving.
yeah, because this is the life we chose. This is what we chose to do, was tell jokes. Not everybody can get up and just talk to a room of people. Not everybody can do that. And if you can, you're like, oh, he's special. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody can write a joke. Not everybody can think of a punchline. Not everybody's brain is warped like some of ours.
Yeah, when you said something, it was like, is this even gonna matter in 10 minutes? And I was like, not if you have a gun. That lets you know where my head was. Yeah, I'll be having some dark ass thoughts, girl.
I don't even know where to fucking go after that. Like, maybe on a suicide hotline. I don't know. Like,
No, don't do that, because sometimes I ask myself certain questions. Is like, if I'm able to laugh at my own death, then I know I'm mentally okay when I make But if I make a fucked up joke about myself and I'm not able to laugh, I'm like, oh, I'm not all right.
well, so that's how you can tell.
That's how I can tell. So if I was to make one this morning, I'm like, yeah, maybe let's go get a gun, bro. And it's been a long while since I felt that way, and I'm like, this shit it's crazy. It's fucking.
I know it sounds so minute and so what they tell you to read out of a pamphlet on a suicide hotline, but it is how you feel, how you see yourself is not how others see you. I've had people that I love take their own lives, and I couldn't do it to the people that I say I love. I just couldn't, like, because I've seen it, and it's just a shadow and a lonely world. It just, because you can't fill that void anymore. You get old and you die, or you get something that's wrong with you. You get diagnosed, you got cancer, and you know there's a time limit there. You know what's ahead of you. But if you say, hey, I'm going to take things in my own hand and this is the way it's going to be,
You don't know.
how do you know that's not just for right now? How do you know that an art gallery is like, hey, I saw your podcast. Love your art behind you. Would you like to show it? Like, you don't know. Fucking tell me the piece behind you. What is the piece behind you?
It's changed many times.
Well, if I stand right on my head, it looks like a...
Hold up. It's not finished, clearly. But it's big as fuck. I'm gonna pick it up some.
Okay.
So I'll have to send it to you when it's finished. But it's part of a paint series called People of the Sun.
Is that like a tulip in a woman's brain, or a...
It's whatever you see at this moment. But you're not wrong about seeing a flower.
Hey, look at that.
You're definitely not wrong about that. But also, it's just...
And is that like a camera? Is that a... Because women are so... I love women. I'm talking about the complex, and the way they're wired is beyond any AI component you'll ever come up with. Women are wired differently. Just straight out. They're smarter than men. They're funnier than men. They handle their shit better than men. Women are just superior, just flat out. And anybody says I'm crazy, you can go kick you sand.
Okay, so on that funnier aspect, no, bro. But everything else,
on you.
No, I've heard some hilarious.
What is it? You want to know how the world's going? Go talk to a black woman.
You're not wrong. I had no disagreements, bro.
So I'm just saying,
I have zero disagreements. And what?
A black woman will
So
tell you what the society is like. You want to know the unvarnished truth? Fuck Fox, fuck CNN, the hell with MSNBC. Go sit down with a black woman and her family and have her tell you the real truth about what she's living in.
So this woman in Atlanta, this was some years ago. There's a few things I want to say, but this black lady, I was the first one up at this mic, and she had not been out in a while. This guy, she's like, "We so happy she's here," and I did good, I did decent, but I said some shit that nobody expected to come out of my mouth. And then afterwards, I was sitting there just drawing as she was doing her set, and then like she actually got me to look up because she was just that good. Because like usually I'll just listen, and I listen better when I'm not looking. But she got me to put down my pen and look up, and it was probably one of top 10 shows, top 10 performances I've seen. And I can't even remember her name, but she was on, and it was fucking hilarious. And I was like, what the fuck? And then so I gave her my sketch. I'm like, this is for you. And then she said, she's like, it may take a while, but people are gonna respect what the fuck you do one day. It's like, it may take a while. I'm like, I haven't forgot that. So it's like, although I get my periods of being depressed and shit, it doesn't happen often, but when it happens, I'm like, man, what the fuck? Because like, what is it? On May 18th, I should not be here right now. Because I was on a moped, no helmet. I was going about 25, and like I hit the throttle and I hit the front brake at the same time. Threw me off. My shoulder hit first, and I just remember my head bouncing off the ground. Well, I remember my head bouncing off the ground, and because I remember having to stop. I was like, boy, that was hard. And then I rolled over, and then I remember laying there on my side, and I'm like, this hurts, and then I went out. And then I woke up. I don't know how much later I woke up, but my head felt wet and shit. And then I was like, I felt my ribs. I'm like, man, I'm fucked up. I knew that. I was like, I am fucked up. So I called my massage therapist. First person I called. not no Angeles, not my parents. No, I was like, I just called that. I called my massage therapist. I'm like, I'm gonna need some body work, yo.
What happy ending are you fucking getting?
No, I just like, she's really good at working on your body.
She's got to have the hands of Jesus Christ himself for me to take a tumble off a moped and be like, hey, you busy for a 3 o'clock session?
But it's like, no, I'm luckily I find good massage therapists because like I know that helps. That sounds crazy, but no, it's like it's something I do because it's like whenever I'm locked in, I kind of like I block out women. I block out, so it's like I know, but it's like just having somebody, not only like having a lady touch my body and actually work out tension. Not no happy ending. I know how this sounds, but no happy ending. If I want to do that, I'll go to the Asian parlor. I'll do that. But it was like just having that feminine touch after I'm just locked into my own, like, you know what I mean? This zone for so long.
I'm trying to understand. Swear to God, I am. But
okay, but
police,
anyways,
the ambulance, my priest, my mother, another phone call for like Uber.
I don't know, but I like. Oh, but yeah, no, I called. That was the first person I called because I'm like, I knew I was gonna need body work. And then I got back up. I walked up and down the street looking for my dad just for a bit. Ain't find him. Yeah, man. And then at this point, I finally put the helmet that I was not wearing back on my head because, like, I don't know if you can see it, but let me get close to this. So from right here, it's pink. I scanned from right here all the way to right here. Was gone. And I'm lucky that my skull didn't crack. I am really fucking lucky that nobody, like, cause like as I was picking up the moped, this good dude just happened to be walking by, and like if it gone any other way, he would have been walking by a dead body. So I do try to remember that as like if I wasn't meant to be here, maybe this is just my own like type of ego or how I try to cope with things. If I wasn't meant to be here or meant to do something, maybe you should have been out then.
mopeds and fat chicks, you know what they have in common?
They take out black dudes.
Yeah. God damn you.
God blessed me.
I'm just playing. I'm just joking. I think everybody has their own story to tell, and whoever's going to listen, that's a part of the journey. It's kind of like Wizard of Oz. Just got to follow the yellow brick road. I mean, there's no plan B. When I started comedy, there wasn't like you know what I'm going to do? Like, nobody told me 2 years into my stand-up career that I was going to get shot in the face. Right. And be like, hey, you were having really a lot of fun. You were hanging out with a lot of cool comedians, but you want to hear God laugh? Tell them your plans.
Ain't that the truth?
So just know that you're funny, and there are people that enjoy having you around, that enjoy hearing your shit, because story comedians and people that deliver your type of comedy have a special place here. And either it's photography or artistry with a mic, it's a way to express yourself. So let's see what you got. Let's see the final. Let's see.
This ain't final. This is gonna take a while, bro.
You're gonna send me a picture though, but that looks nice.
100%. I'm gonna send you a picture.
I've enjoyed our conversation. I hope you
feel me too.
Hope you feel better than what you did when you first started this.
I actually do.
Okay. Where can everybody check you out? What's your social media? What you got coming up? What you doing?
Okay, so ChandlerWatson.com. If you go to that website at the bottom, it'll take you to my social media, but my Instagram is Chandler_Watson. And then, what is it? Next week, I got a show. Well, July 3rd, I'll be in Norman at Legally Brewed doing a comedy show at 7:30. And then, what is it? I think July 26th, I'll be at Put a Cork in It. That's downtown. And then I'm debating on this show for this a set at this hip hop show, August 3rd down in Norman. And then after that, I'm back in Burning Man. So, I mean, there's something to look forward to, and it's crazy because it's like, if I were to pull my own head out my ass sometimes and just like look how blessed I am, it's like, yo, your success is here. Just, you know?
I always say all the time that the journey is the dream.
Yeah. And these valleys,
they're just
I can deal with the valleys.
They're just that. They're just valleys. They're not the end. They're just along the way. Just like, hey, I can learn from this.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, we're doomed to repeat it.
Let's look at society. Hubris.
That's why I'm trying to get this podcast out now. Shit, anything goes any sideways, I'm not gonna be able. You're not gonna have freedom of speech. You're not gonna have freedom of religion. You're not gonna have any of that. So,
ain't that wild? Ain't that fucking wild? That's why I ask, are you free? And people, they like to pretend they are. We got this illusion of freedom.